it, so just so you know. They've asked us to record it and they, have it in their archives, whatever that means, but I guess they'll be publishing on their website for people to, or I think on YouTube. I think they'll probably upload everything on YouTube for us to be able to watch and refer to, which will be really helpful for all of those that we missed in time zones that we couldn't get to, or we weren't willing to get out of bed at those awkward times of the morning. Okay, let's kick off. Thanks, guys, for joining us. My name is Laura, and that's Louisa over there. Louisa, do you want to go to the next slide?
Yep.
So Louisa's controlling the slides today. So that's us. There we go, another one.
I've been muted. Keep going.
All right. Oh, you can do it as well. Fine, beautiful. Okay, so we're from a company called Lifting Lanterns. We're based in Western Australia, and our company was formed during COVID Part 1 last year. We kind of started because we started to write a book together, and we had a bit of scope creep, and we ended up forming a company. So we specialise in Agile coaching, consultancy and training, as well as PMOs. So in terms of our backgrounds are both IT, so we've both got IT degrees and worked in technology for the whole of our careers. And I guess we've really been focusing on innovation and innovation projects, largely applications, but also some engineering environments as well. We've spent many years in PMO environments as well as project delivery. So we've gone, we've kind of come through the ranks in terms of all the different roles. And so we completely get the project delivery issues, all different levels in all different sort of market sectors. So we've been sole traders for a number of years, worked in lots of different companies. And we've got a real passion for business and process efficiency, as well as Agile and Scrum, but particularly sort of team dynamics. So, we love coaching one-on-one, and we love coaching teams as well to create high-performing teams. So that's enough about us, and I think we've covered sort of where in the world everybody is. So yeah, just some MS Teams etiquette. So we're fairly new to using this product, so apologies for all the invites you may have got repeatedly, but every time we added someone onto the invitation, it resent the invite. So sorry if I was blocking up your inbox today. I think you've all found where the mute button is, but we will encourage you to contribute, make it a better experience for everyone, because we obviously want to hear your experiences too, and if you've got questions, that's fine. There's a little raised hand icon, so feel free to raise that if you need to. And yeah, if you've got any questions, then just put that in the chat. So as I said, we're recording this, and that will then just be made available to Agile 20 Reflect, and they'll probably upload it. I'm happy to see your faces, but if you're shy, that's fine. Keep yourself on mute if you can, because obviously you'll have background noises and things as well, so we don't want everyone to be disturbing everyone. My dog doesn't understand mute, but we'll do our best to keep her under control. She's been good so far. So the format for today is a number of videos, and it's all based on a case study. And we've got a number of individual videos that we will be playing and then having a discussion about each one. So just to cover about what is a PMO and the background and the context of all of this, I just thought I'd put a definition up there from Wikipedia, just so we're all on the same page. So a PMO, Project Management Office, is a group or department within a business, government agency or enterprise that defines and maintains standards for project management within the organisation. And the PMO strives to standardise and introduce economies of repetition in the execution of projects. Now, there's obviously lots of different flavours of PMOs. There can be different sizes. They can be at a particular level. They can just be in IT, or they could be global throughout organisation. And in our experience, when you add Agile to the mix, PMOs really struggle, and then it can be a bit like oil and water. So without further ado, we're going to jump into our little case study, and it's the first time that we've actually done videos of ourselves, so we completely cringe at this, feeling very self-conscious about the exposure, but feel free to laugh, that's fine. As long as you're laughing with us, not at us, that's all good. All right, take it away, Louisa.
Hi, my name's Cagney and I work for a company called Paperwork Central. I've been here for 10 years and I'm the PMO manager. And before that I was a project manager, so I've had hands-on experience of project delivery in this organisation. And as a manager, as a PMO manager, I take my role very seriously. I'm very much a follower of rules and I expect compliance. So there's this new program of work that's appeared out of nowhere called digital transformation. I've heard that they've got 3 projects that are running, but the PMO, we have no awareness of them. I've been sending emails for the past 3 months with virtually no reply. There's this character called Lacey who has this weird job title of Scrum Master, and she suddenly requests that we meet. She even had the audacity to give me a list of agenda items, even though it's me that's been chasing her. So she really knows how to get me offside straight off the bat. So as the PMO manager, I'm actually now in trouble because there's no visibility of these Agile projects, and there's the perception that I don't have the ability to resolve this situation and get the missing information that we need.
So that's video number 1, and now we're seeing the other side of the coin.
Hi, I'm Lacey. I recently joined Paperwork Central as a Scrum Master just about 3 months ago as part of the digital transformation program. It comprises of 3 Agile teams and I'm supporting 2 other Scrum Masters. Our teams all report directly to the CIO, who is our product owner. This PMO manager, Cagney, I think is the name, whom I've never met, keeps sending us emails about governance and compliance. I replied once saying that I'm happy to comply, but we just don't work that way in a traditional waterfall. So all these gate checks and signed off documentation and end-to-end Gantt charts and standard weekly reports, it's just not what we do for planning control. All the other Scrum Masters agree with me. And we've just said the same thing back to this PMO manager, but it keeps falling on deaf ears. So I'm just now ignoring her and I really hope she goes away. But I found out recently that a formal complaint was lodged against us and my product owner, the CIO, just said, go get it sorted. I really don't know what sorting it all means, but we can't force an Agile world into a waterfall world. It just doesn't work that way.
So this is our 2 characters, Cagney and Lacey. So they've both got very different roles, but what they have got in common is that they're each focused on their own objectives and their own ways of working. So Cagney comes with lots of experience in the organisation, has a very structured way of working, yet her authority is now being challenged by Lacey and her fellow Scrum Masters. So they've not just ignored her as an individual, but also dismissed her authority as well. So this is our clash. This is our David and Goliath. So can I get a thumbs up from everyone just before we continue, that you understand sort of where we're heading with this? And you get the gist of this metaphor of David and Goliath. Just in the chat, if you can just give us an okay that you understand, or if you don't, then feel free to ask a question. Thank you. Thanks, Amy. Thank you. Thanks, Simon. Thanks, Christine. Cool. All right. I assume everyone's good. Okay, so we've now got 3 short clips of different scenarios, and after each one, we'd love to hear your experience. If you're able to wrap it up into a sentence or 2, that'll be great. Or if you've got something juicy to share or some tips, we're happy for you to unmute and give us a little summary. We are kind of a bit limited on time, so we can just sort of keep it quite concise. That'll be great. All right, take it away, Louisa. Thank you.
Hi.
Hi.
I'm Cagney.
Hi, I'm Lacey.
Nice to meet you. Oh, yeah, of course.
It's great to finally put a face to the name of all those emails I've been getting.
Okay. Don't mind if I take some notes?
Sure, but I've collated a list of agenda items with all the other Scrum Masters, and just so it's clear, we've got it all in Trello for you already.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, if you had agenda items, I kind of would have appreciated advance notice. I'm not really sure who you're representing, to be honest. Scrum Masters, I've never heard of such a word, so I don't know who you are or what you do. I guess you're just part of this new crew that rocked up one day, took all the best window seats and came in with all your whiteboards making a noise, and we got shifted around. So yeah, anyway, so look, I've got my own list, so why don't we start with that and just see if that covers yours.
Okay, but I still think my list in Trello, we get straight to the point and it'll save us some time. But if you really want to go through your list, then sure, let's give it a go.
Okay, well, let's just jump straight in, really. Project management processes. So we've got our own ones here at the company, and I've got a bunch of gate checks to conduct, and I've got some checklists I need to do to show compliance. I've got to make sure all the right documentation is produced and approved, and I need regular status reports. And to be honest, look, I'm under a lot of pressure from management right now, because there's just not visibility of this program of work. I've got 3 projects ducking beneath the radar, and all my requests are falling on deaf ears. And now I'm the one in trouble for your non-compliance.
Okay, look, I understand everything you're saying, and I get this, but standard stages, documentation, gateways, that's just not how we work in an agile world. Sure, it's needed in a traditional world, but that's just not how we work in agile. You can't magically make a square peg fit into a circle hole unless you really want us to fudge our way through this.
The reality is I've never had any trouble with any other projects before, but these 3 teams, these so-called digital transformation projects, yeah, it's causing me grief, and the only thing that's transforming is my stress levels and my grey hairs over this.
That's not what I'm saying. We're happy to work with the PMO, but again, we can't just force it to fit. Agile is different. The world is a bit different. You want apples, I create oranges. Yes, it's both fruit, but I can't give you what you're after just fitting into that.
Look, my team are just doing their job right now, and reality is we've got partial visibility, which doesn't include these 3 agile ones, and I'm just not hearing a good explanation for this non-compliance, other than we just don't work that way, apples and oranges.
Okay, we're doing our jobs too, okay? I know you're doing your jobs, we're doing our jobs. It's just more frustrating that you don't seem to understand what an agile world is and why it's different. We're going around and round in circles about us being non-compliant, and you haven't even tried to make it work for us to start with. Do you even understand agile project delivery?
Well, from what I've heard, it's just lots of post-ups and standards.
Post-its and stand-ups.
Yeah, that's what I said, post-ups and standards.
Okay, you clearly understand agile. So I see you already think you know it all then?
Okay, that's our first scenario, project processes and governance, that fun stuff. So if anyone would like to share what their experience has been like, has it been painful? Has it been easy, mildly problematic? Have you found a way around it? Love to hear anyone's experience. So raise your hand if you'd like to speak, or feel free just to type away in the conversation. We'll just give you a minute or 2 to have a think. Hi, Angel. Thanks for joining the meeting.
Hi.
Hi.
Good morning.
Sorry you missed the intro. So we're basically playing different scenarios, and then we're having a little discussion about common challenges between Agile and the PMO. That's probably as succinctly as I could put it. So this is the first scenario. You can see Simon typing away. Be good to hear from you, Amy, as well, because you've been working in PMO teams, so that'll be good too. Oh, so Simon's seen this before. PMs went and did 1 day's training and now Scrum Masters, and I think they don't have to talk to me anymore. What's your role, Simon, in that space?
So I was working, I guess, as a third-party external part of a project team with an organisation that was going through change, and that was a direct quote from someone in the PMO that these PMs just did some training, now they're Scrum Masters, and they're kind of the rules have changed. So very much in line with your role play. Yeah,
it's pretty common. Unfortunately, PMOs sort of just get left out as well. They're not often included as a sort of key stakeholder to bring along on the journey.
I think for us, from the experience I've had on the PMO side, it was really just a case of we sat down with the parts of the business that were using Agile and just basically looked at what are we trying to achieve, what are you trying to achieve, and then kind of, although we've got different processes and tools and names, where is the commonality to kind of, where something they're already doing fulfilled our requirement. So I guess our focus was really around how can we do our thing but work together in a way that minimises rework as much as possible.
Yeah, great. All right, thank you for that. I'm happy to move on to the next one, Louisa.
So you're like a broken record. You keep asking for these old school weekly status reports.
These are mandatory, We need to receive them, we need to review them, and then we need to distribute them by close of business every Friday.
Okay, I understand there's a need for reporting, but reports need to have a need and a purpose. Can I at least ask who these reports are going to and what they actually read from these long-winded templates?
Look, we update our own portfolio management tool, and we also send them to your steering committee, and of course the CIO and the CFO, who need to be across all projects.
Well, for starters, we don't have a steering committee, okay? And luckily, our CIO is our product owner. So I think we're covered. Our product owner comes along to all our demos, to annual sprints, and can even come to our daily stand-ups if he wants. So he's pretty much across everything. I've seen the CIO, the CFO walk across our boards to take a look at the statuses, and they know what's going on. For me, in an Agile world, the most important person that I need to keep updated is the product owner. And it's the product owner's responsibility to decide what other stakeholders need to be engaged with. They know that that is the responsibility of the CIO and the CFO.
Well, look, I don't know about that. I've never heard of this product owner role, and I've certainly not been kept in the loop by him. So can't you just do a report each week? I just don't get what's the drama.
It isn't a drama. It's more like making stuff up just to fit your templates for weekly formal reports. We don't gather the information that you're looking for. We do gather information, but it's different. We have them in different ways, Trello, Confluence, and it's consumed differently by different people. Anyway, we don't do weeklies. We work in 2-week sprints.
Sprints? I have no idea what you're talking about, and I don't know what running's got to do with it. So what information do you capture then?
We've got all sorts of levels of different information. For example, every day at daily stand-up, the teams look at the information, what task is done, they raise any blockers, and I can take that away to either action or raise it as a risk. By the end of the sprint, we do a demo. So that's feedback to all the stakeholders, including our product owner, CIO, CFO, and anyone else that's interested over the work that we've completed for the last 2 weeks. We also do a retrospective, which is the lessons learned, so that we know how to improve ourselves for the next 2 weeks. It's up to the team to decide how they write it out, or if they want to take a photo, or if it's just a verbal session. It's really up to the teams.
So if you write things up, if you take pictures?
Yes, if we do, we will then upload it to Confluence. Again, it really depends on the teams. In Agile, you have to empower the teams.
Confluence, I have no idea. I've never heard of it. Don't know what you're talking about, to be honest.
Confluence, yes, and Trello. So if in the sessions we get feedback where we need to rework or new work, and we've got to create those user stories, we put it in the product backlog in Trello. And then the product owner will prioritize it, so we know what pieces of work we need to do next.
Trello, I don't even know what this is.
Look, this is Trello, okay? We trust the team to be responsible for any feedback and they'll put it in. If it's not in Trello, it's in Confluence. They're big and ugly enough to look after and track this in Trello or Confluence.
Look, it sounds like you're capturing all the project status information anyway. Can't you just take that and add it to our template? And whilst we're on the subject of templates, let's have a quick chat about timesheets. 3 teams, 3 months. I've got nothing. I've been asking repeatedly.
Oh dear, timesheets. You see, everyone is full-time in the project and their time is allocated on what they do during sprint planning sessions.
So what this means is that we've got no metrics. We don't know the cost of resourcing on any of these projects, and nothing's being tracked by anyone on anything.
Nothing's been tracked. We track a lot, but clearly you don't understand what I'm telling you. I can give you burn ups and burn downs. I'm happy for you to figure out what you need to massage it into your templates and your weekly reports. We track against our quarterly plan. As you can see here, if you don't have some sort of plan, then what are you delivering to? Anyway, in an agile world, when it comes to cost is fixed. So we're just drawing from the bucket of approved money each sprint. And then we cut off when the money dries up. By then, we would have delivered the most important value to our product owner, who again is the CIO.
I still don't get how any of this is being calculated, and nothing's coming my way. So 25 resources in the company, we've got no idea what they're doing.
All right, that was scenario 2. So I'm keen to understand from you guys, what's your experience been like when it comes to reporting on Agile projects? So what metrics have you been gathering? What have you been sharing with the PMO? Where are you capturing them? What formats have you been using? And then also about the horrible dirty word timesheets. So if anyone wants to jump in and share, or feel free to type, I'd love to hear from you. We'll just give you a couple of minutes there. Awkward silence.
Well, I'm glad you're laughing, Simon.
Maybe I can share. I'm
Great.
Angel. Yeah. So I just joined, recently to a new organization. So they are fully into agile ways of working. So more or less they already adopt some of the reporting that basically they are using application called Smartsheet. So they have these templates that um, that is already like customized, according to their needs. Like minimizing, checklists, all sort of things, and back to emails. When you report, like in my previous organization, it's like more you are using email to update the stakeholders or the program managers. But here is like a template where during the steering meeting they'll be using for risk register. So this is on the first day I can see they are using this type of status reporting.
Mm-hmm.
So like eventually in my previous organization we also adopt agile ways of working, but we use more to Confluence. But that was very minimized because they are too much into waterfall ways of working. So to go to agile, it seems like a very challenging to them, because most of the team members, they are not so interested to go to Jira and to see their updates. So that was the biggest challenge.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think in a bigger organization that moved to service management, like more to infrastructures, management is a bit very hard to adopt. But in this new organization, they are almost adopting the agile ways of working. So can see the reporting. It's more or less. I mean, they're using a one template for every meeting, which can be very helpful.
So it's not too much of a burden for you then. It sounds like you've had experience from sort of both sides.
Yes, indeed. But I think that's the challenge now. Like, what will be the best templates, like for agile, especially for reporting, what they can exactly for the organization, that to I believe all the product owners or the stakeholders have to agree with one ways of reporting, rather than the focusing on the, too many, like, they continue to do something new, but eventually they get back to the normal. In my previous organization, I've seen that. But I think like bigger organization, they are using like service now, but I'm not sure whether service now is more to agile or waterfall. I'm not too sure, because even that nobody is looking into it. That is for just for the governance sake.
Okay. So, I mean, I only know ServiceNow in terms of, more of an operational capacity.
Yes.
But it's used in a project capacity as well, is it?
Yeah, I think that was more to PPM, portfolio reporting, portfolio management reporting.
Okay, interesting. Right, thank you for sharing, Angel.
No worries, thank you.
And Noreen, I'm interested in what Blue Site is like. Would you be able to share anything with us? I haven't heard of it. Earth calling Noreen. Typing away, I can see. Oh, I can't speak. That's okay. Noisy kids in the background. Okay, completely get it. That's fine.
Okay.
So Noreen,
yeah, we can definitely look it up. It's definitely a new one that we haven't used before.
Okay, well, we're happy to hear a review. We always like learning about new tools and what's out there. Always on the quest for the best tool. Cool. Well, we'll let you finish typing.
As we go to the next scenario.
Yeah, our last scenario is about documentation and approvals. So let's see what Cagney and Lacey have got to say about documentation and approvals. Take it away, Louisa.
So now we've covered off reporting, or lack thereof, I should say. Let's talk about documentation. I'm going to need these requirements and design documents completed, and I'm going to need it for all the Agile initiatives. I've got these governance checklists to complete, and they're just blank. I mean, I've requested approved documentation time and time again, and I just get ignored. And I don't have this trouble with any of the other projects.
In Agile, we care about enough information. We just don't go to that level of detail up front in Agile. Detail emerges over time.
We can't just have you proceeding willy-nilly without proper oversight or authorization.
But the product owner, as I'm saying, the CIO, is authorized, and we have a few tech leads who help with the oversight of the development team. We don't just go ahead willy-nilly.
So can you give me the documentation that you do produce and those assigned, so that I can verify there is some sort of governance and oversight?
I should speak like a robot now. We do not work that way in an Agile world. We don't get formal signatures to proceed every single time.
Look, this is really quite out of the ordinary. I've worked in the organisation for 10 years now and never experienced such non-compliance. What about a project plan? There's around 25 of you working away, but where's the plan? I presume you've got some sort of Gantt chart, don't you?
Computer says no, no, Gantt chart, no.
Not only do you sound like a robot, you just sound like you're making this stuff up. Just rocking up to work each day, having a chat, having a laugh, writing some post-its, playing with your whiteboards and other funny tools, and then having another chat, a few coffee breaks, then some beers after a hard day's work. It beggars belief how you can get away with this.
Okay, seriously? Is it a crime to be laughing and enjoying yourself at work? We might be laughing, we might enjoy ourselves, but we deliver. Happy staff are the most productive, and it is vital to work well with your team in an agile world. We're all about teamwork and close collaboration and transparency. Despite what you think, we do a lot of planning before we go to any design and development.
So how can you start development without any documentation or PMO approval? I just don't get it.
Within each sprint, we do the planning, the analysis, the design, development, the test, and the deploy. Your gateway checks just don't align with this. We have a solid method, and this process is aligned to what we call Scrum. We don't just have time to wait for formal approvals in a 2-week sprint.
I don't know what rugby's got to do with it now. You've done running, you know you're onto rugby, and I can imagine the sort of planning you do on the back of beer mats and napkins.
Look, we have roadmaps, we have quarterly plans, okay? We don't have traditional Gantt charts that you might be used to, but we plan every 2 weeks with close guidance from the CIO. So ultimately, they're our customer. The product owner represents them. I answer to the product owner. I'm not trying to make your life difficult, but it's different in an agile world.
Okay, that's our last scenario, documentation and approvals. So again, love to hear from you. What's your experience been like? I know when I was a PMO manager, I had, you know, my racy charts of, you know, who's responsible for doing what and all the different documents and who had to, which, you know, stakeholders had to sign them off. It was pretty big list. It was a big job to go around all the different projects. I was managing an IT PMO at the time, and we had over 80 active projects at the time, and all of those had to do status reports. All of those, you know, we had to do the gate checks. So yeah, it's a big job, documentation and approvals, and then taking that away from, you know, a PMO's responsibility can send them into a tailspin. So yeah, I'm interested in your experience of with Agile projects. What demands have been placed on you around documentation and signatures and that sort of thing? If anyone's got anything to share, I'd love to hear from you. I can see Noreen typing. That's Noreen. I feel like I need to play some elevator music or something. Don't do much documentation. No, that's pretty common. I think that the challenge is it's when you're being asked for it. Well, if no one has got anything else to share, then we're happy to move on to the next one. That's fine. So this is our wrap up. Take it away, Louise.
Okay. Taking a step back, I'm curious. Were the 3 Agile projects that were formed a few months ago, was anything explained to you? What they are, how they work, how the delivery model is different, how it impacts the other parts of the organization, like anything?
Nothing. Nada. Nothing. 3 new teams appeared one Monday morning. The whole office got reshuffled. You guys sat together, took all the best window seats, and then stuck a bunch of post-it notes everywhere on the walls, on the windows, on the walls, started making lots of noise. That was our introduction to you lot.
Okay. So from this awesome merry-go-round conversation that we've just had, I'm beginning to realize that this situation has actually been quite disruptive for you and probably other parts of the organization as well. I must admit, I haven't seen much communication to the organization about what we do, but to be honest, I wasn't told about the PMO either and what your expectations are of us. So clearly, we're not going anywhere, you're not going anywhere. I think we've just got to find a way to work together.
I think you're right there, and yes, we do. We're agreed on that. Look, I've noted down a few things that I think we do need to work through. So there's project management processes and governance. We've got reporting and metrics, and then we've got documentation and approvals. That's what I've got on my list. So why don't we have a think about those things and get together next week and just come up with some ideas about how we can work through this.
Okay, great. In the meantime, I'll send you some information, some videos about Agile, so you've got a better idea of how we work.
Okay, that sounds like a plan. I'll put something in the diary for this time next week. Okay, perfect. Okay, all right, good. Cheers. See you then.
See you then.
Okay, so that's the end of part 1. So this is all about uncovering, what were the issues, what were the pain points between each of them. So I hope we've explained that clearly enough. For us, we had a good conversation about our own personal experiences, as well as obviously talking to other people. And these were sort of the 3 big main areas of contention. And this is something that we're pretty passionate about to resolve. So yeah, next week, this time next week, I hope you'll come along and join us for the second part, which is all about coming to some sort of compromise and tackling those particular issues. So really hope that you'll join us. Hopefully you'll have an invite already. We'll send out an email just with a reminder and a link if you haven't. So we look forward to seeing you next week, but we would love to get some feedback from you about how this was for you. It's obviously a new format for us. It may well be a new format for you as well. We've never done videos before. So yeah, for us, we wanted to create something educational, but also to promote discussion as well. So if we can have a little quick retro, verbal or feel free to write, just love to hear from you. What went well? What can we improve? What did you learn?
I'll jump in if you want. I really like the videos. That was great. So yeah, a lot easier way to engage and talk about the problems. Probably just my main suggestion would be, for me personally, trying to share perspectives through chat. I find that a little bit clunky. So yeah, I don't know. It's probably a little bit, it might be just me, but I find it a little bit easier if we can just kind of jump in and talk more normally.
Yeah.
I think the videos were fantastic. They're very relatable, particularly if you've had experience, or in my case, I've worked with clients who've been in this situation. I've been, and I've seen these situations. So, far better to discuss and collaborate on this topic than, looking through PowerPoint and trying to, portray the point of view. So, yeah, well done. It's really good. I'm looking forward to next week.
Great, thank you.
Glad you guys liked the videos, because it was quite painful for ourselves to watch it back again.
But we did each one in one take, actually. Like we didn't want to make it perfect, because it wouldn't have been.
That's great. It worked really well.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
It's really I think I kind of refreshing, because I'm also going to learn to use this to my new organization. So can give me some confidence.
Right. Well, come back next week and we'll give you some answers.
Certainly. Thank you. Thank you for the initiative.
That's great. We are also going to be running a 2-day Agile PMO course as well, which we can deliver virtually. So if that's something you're interested in, we can we can talk about that offline, and we've got a discount voucher if you're interested for Agile 20 Reflect attendees. So we can talk more about that next week. I can see Amy is writing. So have all of you booked for next week? Or you will do so anyway. We'll upload the videos if you are unable to make it, but I hope that you can.
Yep. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks,
Thanks so
Christina.
much.
Thank you. Take care. Bye.
Yes,
You've
Amy.
caught on, Amy. We're a double L company with the double L initials.
Yeah, my dog is called Lucy. Louisa's son is called
Leroy, and my husband's Leo. So we're L's all around.
Yeah. So that's why, yeah, we had to have L's in our company name as well. All right, thank you so much, everyone, and look forward to seeing you next week. Have a good evening.
You too. Thank you. Bye.
Good night. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.